Hey viewers, welcome to VL Astrology, and we have Kṣaṇāti here with me again after a long time, and we're going to be talking about Rahu Ketu, the most happening planets on this universe, I would say, and the most talked about and the most dreaded ones. Why dreaded ones? Because we feel that they are just going to be causing all the kinds of troubles in our lives, the karmic debts that we are bound. So these are also because they are not visible ones. They are just the points. They're just the nodes of the moon. So that is also one of the reasons that we have fear and the causers of eclipses, and also the Kal Sarpa. So many things attached to this Rahu Ketu axis, and we both are going to be discussing this even more in detail. We'll be sharing the case studies also with you in the forthcoming videos. This is not just going to end today. There are several paths that we are going to be sharing. Also, I invite my audience, in case you have any kind of a peculiarity that you feel is causing because of Rahu Ketu axis predominant, please do share your charts. You're most welcome, and we will be discussing. Maybe we'll be going live also, and we'll be sharing all the insights and about the remedies also. Definitely, we'll be giving you the remedies, and they really work wonders for sure. So Kṣaṇāti, what do you have to say? Please welcome on VL Astrology today. Thank you so much.
Namaste, Vanita ji. It's such a pleasure to be back here with you. Om Namah Shivaya. It's great to be here with the astrological community. What an exciting topic. I've done a lot of research on this topic for some time. It's really become a passion and enthusiasm for me to understand the soul cycle. I know in Jyotish, we do a lot of predictive work, but understanding our karmas and our soul cycle and why are we here and where did we come from, I think is the most spiritually valuable thing that we can do. And I'm so excited about this topic. I'm presenting it at the Sedona Vedic Astrology Conference in November. It's Rahu and Ketu Nakshatras, the guide to our soul cycle. And so basically how the method works is, all of the planets relate to our karmas, past lifetimes, our current lifetime, and potential future incarnations as well, until we achieve the Mahasamadhi. But the big karmic activators to get a quick glimpse and a deep glimpse into our previous life patterns and our unfulfilled karmic debt, I like to use Rahu and Ketu. It's not that the other planets can't be used. I honor that, but I just think Rahu and Ketu provide a special glimpse into the depth of our soul cycle. So basically the method is, the basic application of the method is, when I'm looking at the position of Ketu, first I like to look at the nakshatra position, as well as the Rashi, the constellation position, to understand the relative dignity of Ketu or Rahu, in this case Ketu. When we're looking at the nakshatra position, there's many different stories and history associated with each nakshatra, a different ruling graha, a different ruling devata, and based on the understanding of the karmic activation of that nakshatra and how it relates with Ketu, we can begin to paint a scenario for our previous incarnations. And I like to understand it from three different perspectives, because it's not all just what's the mistakes that we made in our previous incarnations. There's a lot of wisdom from our previous incarnations, and there's a lot of lessons that we've already learned. So I always like, when we're looking at the soul cycle, we look at Ketu to understand our past life lessons and things like that. And when we're looking at Ketu, first we talk about, well, what is the wisdom that your soul already had before it was Kṣaṇāti, before it was Vanita, before we were an incarnation in this lifetime? What was the wisdom that our soul already had? What lessons did we already learn? So that's the positive side of the previous incarnation. And then I like to see, well, based on the dignity and the position of Ketu, did you finish learning that lesson? Or maybe that there's still some work to be done in terms of the lesson is not quite complete. Usually with Ketu, you do have wisdom there, but that doesn't mean that the lesson is totally finished. So what is some of that lesson to be finished? And then to kind of parallel it with Rahu and our karmic debt and our unfulfilled karma is usually because of where we've kind of focused our life's energy in our previous incarnation, certain aims of life, certain areas of life, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, different bhavas of activation, usually because of where we've kind of focused that energy in our previous incarnations, it kind of leaves another area of life and another aim of life kind of unfulfilled. Or as I like to say, an itch that we've never scratched. And so then we have in this lifetime some karmic debt or desire or kama to kind of scratch that itch and to fulfill that karma. And depending on Rahu's dignity and Rahu's position and Rahu's nakshatra, we can see what that kind of unfulfilled karma is and how difficult or easy it might be to obtain based on the functional malefic benefic nature of the Rahu position. So it's kind of a little bit of a, esoteric, deeply spiritual look into the soul cycle through this unfulfilled karmic debt as it relates to our previous life's wisdom through the position of Rahu and Ketu in their nakshatras.
Awesome. That's actually, what we all should actually not ignore these points what you have mentioned. Actually, they are the basic. Yes, we have to look at all the planets undoubtedly, as you rightly said, that we cannot ignore them. The position of Rahu represents qualities to be developed and work to be done, basically, during the present incarnation, and position of Ketu shows the attitude that we bring naturally from the past life. So that is the reason, very important. And when these two are conjunct the planets, or they are aspected by the planets or the sign they are in, that actually gives the flavor. So that is why all the planets come into play in a way, isn't it?
100%. I mean, no matter Rahu and Ketu's position, we're looking at a sign that they're in and the graha that rules that sign. We're looking at the nakshatra they're in and the graha that rules that nakshatra.
So yes.
It's so deeply intertwined in the beautiful puzzle of Jyotish.
Absolutely. And I have seen well-posited Rahu, Ketu are beneficial also. They take you to great heights also, I've seen. If you actually use them, if you utilize the energies, and they can bring you down also if you don't use them properly. I feel that the planets can be really maneuvered.
I totally agree. With Ketu and Rahu, there's always that higher side and that lower side. And I think sometimes, Jyotish analysts, we tend to, give them a bad rap. But like you said, they can be utilized to the utmost of the potential in this lifetime. They're influencing certain aims and areas of life. With Ketu, we can, have that loss and that detachment and that total, emptiness. And that's true. And we can also experience enlightenment and connection to God and non-attachment and moksha and samadhi. And with Rahu, we can be in illusion and confused and deceived. And we can also reach our full material potential and our element of growth in this lifetime. So there's really that both the higher side and the lower side of it. I think they both need to be given love.
Yeah, agreed. And you were talking about nakshatras, how beautifully they are, the Aridra, Swati, Shatabisha nakshatra for Rahu is so beautifully put, in the signs of Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. Can you see? It's so beautifully, because Mercury, Venus, Saturn owned signs, and Rahu is feminine as well. And the feminine, signs, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, they are all considered to be in the, feminine side. So can you see how the intellect, pleasure and misery, these three are culminating, in this Rahu energy. So how well they are, knit with each other, intertwined, as we say. Yeah.
So beautiful. As a Rahu Sattva ascendant, I can experience this personally.
Okay. So you want to share your own chart, I think, Kṣaṇāti?
Sure. Just to get everyone excited for the work Vanita and I are going to do, I'm comfortable with sharing my chart and discussing a little bit of my previous incarnations from understanding of the different positions. And one of the things that's interesting is at different times in my life, I've gone to psychics and different intuitives and things like that, and have what's called a past life regression, where, you know, the psychic kind of picked up on your previous lives. And in my research, the Jyotish chart says the exact same thing. So it's really, and we can understand our patterns and how to break free from the challenges in our life. And like Vanita was saying, really kind of utilize these grahas, or upagrahas as mentioned, to kind of achieve the utmost potential out of our chart. So I'm just going to share my screen real quick. So this is the North Indian version of my chart. I was born on December 6th of 1988 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at 11:49 in the morning. And so we're just going to do a quick analysis based on some of the research I've been doing. And it's just going to be surface because I just want to get everyone excited. And we don't need to talk about too many specific details in my life, but we'll discuss some exciting ones. So first thing we're looking at is Ketu's position and its nakshatra and bhav. And so when we're looking at Ketu, we see that it's in the 7th bhav, which is a kama, aim of life bhav. And it's also the house of the partnership and the relationship. And so it's in the 5th sign Leo, which is ruled by the sun. And it's in the nakshatra of Purva Falguni. And Purva Falguni is a very deep understanding to understand my karma a little bit when we kind of dive deeper. And it's right in the first pada of Purva Falguni. So just to understand, it's right in the initial pada of Purva Falguni. So in understanding my previous life's karma, what is some of the wisdom that my soul has already experienced? What is some of the wisdom which my soul has already learned? Well, with Ketu in a Venus nakshatra in the 7th bhava, Purva Falguni, it has to do with those right relationships with different things. When we unlock its highest potential, our right relationship with, our romantic partner, our friends, our family, our right relationship with our body, our quality of life, our right relationship with pleasure. Do we have emphasized quality of things? Do we emphasize quantity of things? So this is something that my soul has always been working on from that Ketu position, just in Purva Falguni. When we understand a little bit of a karmic impression, what's my samskara is kind of imprinted from this position, it's in the 7th bhava. And so what psychics have told me and what I've come to understand from my chart is in the vast majority of my previous incarnations, I've been married. I've been married in in 99% of my previous incarnations. That's my nature as a soul. And with that comes certain weaknesses. And then I'm willing to admit this, that I have what's called a codependent tendency. It's something I'm working on. I'm growing on it. I read books about it. I seek therapy about it. But basically what that means is we like to put other people ahead of ourselves because we like to people please. We like to put other people. So we like to take care of other people. We want to make our wife happy. We want to make our parents happy. We want to make our friends happy. And there's wisdom in that, right? There's beauty in that because it comes from a very giving, loving, caring, kind nature of like wanting to make the people that you love happy. So, that's the positive side of it. And I also know what it means to be a husband and to be a loyal husband and to be a caring husband and to be a giving husband. And so a little bit of that previous incarnation understanding. And so with the samskara, it's easy to fall back into that pattern in the second lifetime. So what's my karma to be complete there? Well, we know that Ketu is the moksha karka. So wherever Ketu is activating that activation, we want to experience some element of spiritual growth there. So I always say that it's easy to not be attached to something that it's never have. So a lot of people with a similar position in their 7th house, they might say, I don't want to get married. I don't want to be in a partnership. I don't want to do those things, because, it lends to attachment. And that's one aspect of it, right? So I'm not saying that that's false. But where's the real work for me in this lifetime? Where is that incomplete karma? Because I already know what it means to be married. What does it mean to be married to someone, to be devoted to someone, to be loyal to someone, and let them not control your life, and you not be too attached to them? in the codependency work that I've done, until I was able to really start to do some of this work, when the people that I loved, especially my partner, was in a bad mood, if they were sad, if they were angry, if they were uncomfortable, I was sad, I was angry, I was uncomfortable, because I care about this person. And that's all well and fine, but it made it hard to function, because I had certain things that I had to be doing in my life. And if my partner or my family or my friend or my deepest interpersonal relationships, they weren't doing well, I was a total wreck. I couldn't function. So now I've learned through the work that I've done through this position of Ketu to kind of separate that energy from myself and be able to be happy and prosperous and effective, regardless of the moods and conditions of the emotions of my partner or the people I care about in my life. It's not that I'm insensitive, it's that I need to be productive and have a positive impact on my life and other people's lives. And I really can't let other people get in the way of that, because it's going to be limiting my connection and my health and my vitality within myself. So that's a little bit of the samskara in the previous incarnation and how it kind of manifests. So now that we're going to take a look at Rahu's position. So what's my unfulfilled karmic debt? So it's, by the way, Rahu is in its own sign in Satabhishak Nakshatra here. So it's Rahu.
And it is Vargotama also.
Yeah, it is Vargatama.
With Jupiter in Navmansha, in Aquarius, my goodness.
Right, a lot of Rahu, Jupiter stuff going on.
Yeah.
And so it's 15 degrees too. We know that that's a strong degree in a house too. So
this is the true notes you're talking about. You take consider mean notes.
These are mean.
Okay.
But I use both depending on,
Right. No issues. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So to understand this position, well, when you're constantly putting everyone else in front of yourself, what gets unfulfilled? What's the karmic debt? You don't get to find out who you are, because you're basing who you are off of how someone else wants you to be, because you're people pleasing. Wife wants you to be this way. Mom wants you to be this way. Dad wants you to be this way. You might want to be this way, but you'd rather make them happy than actually be true to yourself. And this creates a ton of karmic debt, because you don't get to have the job that you want to have. You don't get to go to the places you want to go. You don't get to choose the spirituality or religion which facilitates with you. You choose the religion, you choose the life, you choose the career that other people want for you. And this creates a lot of suffering for an individual. And so Rahu in my ascendant is pushing me in this lifetime to have some healthy selfishness in those areas so that I can be true to myself. The religion I was born in is not the religion that I practice today. I practice Hinduism. The religion that, the job that my parents wanted me to have, they wanted me to go to law school, right? I'm a Jyotish. So we understand that by being true to myself, I have found the most fulfilling experience that I've ever could have experienced in my life. And when it comes to the things that are important to me, see, here's the thing. If we want to take care of other people, but if we don't love and take care of ourselves and what's important to us, we are totally limited in our ability to do that. So by putting myself first, by putting my spirituality first, by putting my Jyotish first, by putting my sobriety first, above all other things in my life, then I'm going to be a better husband. I'm going to be a better brother. I'm going to be a better friend. I'm going to be a better son. So this is part of the karma, which is the unfulfilled karmic debt, which is no matter what influences are trying to come to me in my life, I'm going to try to be true to my own intuition with that Rahu, very strong in Satabhishak and the Ascendant, which wants to be a Jyotish, which wants to practice Sanskrit and chanting and practice Hinduism. And so this is the path that I found. And so this is just a little introduction into the topic of our soul cycle, our previous incarnations, or samskara through the position of Rahu, and what is our unfulfilled karmic debt based on that as influenced in this incarnation. So I hope that was an exciting elaboration, Vanita, and I'd love any thoughts.
Yeah, it was quite, it's really, first thing is that it takes a lot of guts to put up your kundli, you know. That is the main thing which you did. It's the Rahu energy in the first house. Now I can make out. And you have Mercury, Rahu, Jupiter all in the Navmansha together, I'm sure. So that also brings in a lot of energy, you know, duality attached to whatever you're doing. Maybe, you know, you change the streams, education, all those, you know, is visible. And from Jupiter also I see, you know, Jupiter is the Jiva Karaka and Rahu is in the 10th house and Ketu in 4th from there. So that also brings in, you know, a lot of karmic debts. If you see from the Jiva Karaka, the Jupiter, astrology and helping others. In the past lives, you were not focused on the family life. Now you want to focus on the family life also with Ketu energy there. You want to, but you know, you're not getting that kind of circumstances that, you know, because it is in Aquarius and conjunct Rahu in Navmansha. So we must get into Navmansha also. You know, I just see the first Rashi chart, of course, and then move on to that. And I see the Bhava Kundli also. So then you know, this is how I interpret the chart.
Totally. One other thing I forgot to mention too is Rahu and Satyabhishak. You know, Satyabhishak, the 100 poisons, the 100 medicines. And to understand that in my life, you know, by focusing all of this energy, you know, on other people as a soul, it doesn't allow you to explore my own gifts as a healer. And I really feel called as a healer in this lifetime to work with Jyotish to help heal the soul. I've studied Ayurveda for many years to work with diet and herbal lifestyle to help heal the body. You know, I you know, work with people on all sorts of challenges that they have that are affecting their health and their quality of life. And so that's that energy too that I was talking about, which is if you spend all your energy, you know, getting sucked out from other people, then the amount of energy that you want to give to others to help heal them is going to be limited. So I really need to embrace that aspect to come into my potential here in this lifetime. So this is a very exciting topic. I hope that, as Vanita mentioned, everyone please email their case studies, your queries as relates to your samskara and your unfulfilled karmic debt to Vanita. If you're watching this on my channel, you can email me at ksanati@gmail.com with your case studies. And we're very excited, right, Vanita, for the future?
Right, definitely. We will definitely be continuing this series, and many more concepts also attached to this will be, you know, shared with you all. I will be mentioning about how to interpret Rahu Ketu also in the due course, the conjunctions, the aspects, Kal Sarpa, eclipses. All these we are going to be covering. So stay tuned because it's a long series. It's not going to end so soon. And these are going to be very short videos, but we will be definitely covering the horoscopes from the community also, especially the karmic debt that Kṣaṇāti is going to take care of. And I will be sharing remedies along the way. All right. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here and watching both of us. And it was a pleasure having Kṣaṇāti over, and we are definitely going to be continuing this series. Thank you so much, Kṣaṇāti, for being here. Namaste.
Thank you, Vanita.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Namaste.